So I wanted to do a little video for you guys. I've been sitting on my couch and seeing a lot of birds come to my bird feeder and go into the birdhouse that we have in our tree. And there's a bunch of them that keep coming, and I kind of want to show you the birds that are coming and visiting me because I think most likely they're coming and visiting you too. These birds are super common in urban areas, neighborhoods, things like that. I know we've seen them at Little Tree Huggers and talked about them. And yeah, it's just been really cool to watch them, and I just kind of wanted to share some information with you guys. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to take pictures of the actual birds in my yard. I'm not a professional photographer in the slightest, so what I did is I just put some pictures from the Google. So hopefully you guys will enjoy it. Here we go. All right, so this is the Carolina wren. Can you guys say Carolina wren? Carolina wren. So these guys are super small, super cute. They kind of have that curved beak and they have that like white eye stripe. And they're super cute. I'm going to play their call for you. How I remember their call is they say something that sounds like cheeseburger. So it's like cheeseburger, cheeseburger, cheeseburger. So let me play this for you. Cheeseburger, cheeseburger. There you have it. You guys have probably seen these, and I would encourage you to keep your eye out and look for more. Now we have another super common bird. This is the American robin. They have that nice orange breast and the kind of darker head with a bright yellowish gold beak. They're pretty recognizable and pretty easy to see from far away. I've seen a bunch of them picking up worms from my yard and carrying them away, which is super, super cute. So here is their call. It kind of is hard to imitate, so I'm just going to play the audio. So when I kind of think of the robin call, it's kind of like doo 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 doo, and that's how I remember it. So now we have another pretty recognizable bird. This is the mourning dove. These guys are pretty big. I banded one once in college. Basically, I put a little ankle bracelet on them so that we could track them, and I had to hold it in two hands. They're really big, pretty fat birds. They love sitting on telephone wires, and they're named mourning dove after their call because it sounds kind of like a sad, like hoo, hoo, like a sad cooing. So I'm going to play it for you. So it has that kind of like hoo, 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 hoo. And if you hear that around your neighborhood, you've got a mourning dove. Oh man. Okay, so these guys are called house sparrows, and you can kind of see that they have a bit of black around their eyes and under their beak as well. And then they've got kind of a brown towards the back of their head. These guys are super, super popular, and I find them really recognizable because they're never alone. You're never going to see just one house sparrow. Usually when you see a big clump of birds around in a neighborhood, a bunch of tiny birds on bushes or in a bunch of trees or anything like that, a lot of the times in urban areas too, these guys are house sparrows, and they kind of have a harder call to detect, but I'm gonna play it for you guys here. So when I think of the house sparrow call, I kind of think of it like this bird can't stop talking, like it keeps going. I don't know if you've noticed the other bird calls, they kind of take a break, like the mourning dove, you know, whoo, whoo. They kind of like pause in between, but the house sparrow doesn't. It's like they're like the chatterbox of the birds. All right, so now I know that you guys know these birds. Can you name them? You've got it. The cardinal, technically named the northern cardinal. We have a boy and a girl, a male and a female, sitting on this branch here in this picture. Do you know which one's which? The male is the bright red colored one, and the female is, looking a little more drab on the right side. Usually with birds, the males tend to have brighter, stronger colors in order to hopefully attract a mate. And so these guys have a song, particularly a warning call, that I find very distinctive. It reminds me of I don't know if you guys have been to Disney World or where you've played or went on the Buzz Lightyear ride and you're shooting those guns at all the bad people on that ride, but it kind of reminds me of that sound, kind of like a pew, pew, pew sound. So here we go. So hopefully you guys could hear that kind of like pew pew sound at the very beginning. That's the cardinal. All right, so now we've got these beautiful guys called house finches. These guys have that beautiful kind of red on the top of their head and then on their upper breast. And a lot of times they look very different. So you'll have one house finch that's super brightly colored, one that is brightly colored on one portion, kind of more drab on the other. And those differences in color tell you the different age of the finch, because if they've gone through more molting or like shedding their feathers and growing new ones, their colors are going to look a bit different, which is kind of crazy. But these guys have been having a ball outside my house in our bird feeder, and they're just so beautiful to watch. So here's their call. Another bird that kind of, it seems like, doesn't take a break when talking, which is super cute. And then here is just a picture of me I found in college 3 years ago holding a house finch when I was doing some bird banding. Everything was very safe. Everything was legal. What we would do in college, we would set up these nets and birds would fly into them because they couldn't see the nets. And then we'd catch them, band them, identify them, record stuff, and then we would release them on their merry way. And as you can see, this house finch has a really bright color. So this house finch is in a more advanced stage, an older house finch than the picture that I showed you before, because this guy has brighter colors. So he has already molted or shed his less bright colors.